Do falling over. Alright, new enemies. But we don't get a whatchamacallit. We're at 95. Need you to kill this. Alright, cool. Really? Want to waste Randy's attack when you should be able to kill it. Excellent. Oh, my back. Giving her that extra movement. Working out pretty nicely. They're behind by 13 experience. Oh, you're behind by more than that. Salamander. Diving bomb. Next time, I'm using a lock. Next time, I'm using a smith. Now what? It canceled team attack. Sucker. Wanted to see what it was like. Doesn't really seem worth it. Especially when you can skip the whatchamacallit. Oh my gosh. That's mean. It is locked. I was like, did I see a sparkly? There we go. There we go. No self-destruct. What do you got? Cover allies HP and CP. Range is not, or the AoE is not that big, but plus 20 CP for only 40, you know, pretty good. Looks like it's targeting her. I'll have to test that out. I thought that was gonna self-destruct and was like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna bring Randy over here. It all works out in the end. Is the chest half full or half empty? Neither. It's completely empty. You suck of food. Give those to you. Oh, I've been wanting to mention this for a long time, and I'm probably not going to be able to mention it now because as soon as I go over here, I'm going to get into some cutscenes and we're going to start talking. Oh my goodness, okay. So I've made so much progress lately on YouTube videos. Been very, very pleased with the outcome. The Pantheon series got the first 3 videos for those all set and ready to go. Next episode of Encounter Report, all set, ready to go. 3rd episode of the Encounter Report, working on it. Logging encounters right now, and we'll just say that Crayson is one of the participants for this one, and sometimes you get to notice a pattern with some people, and it's technically not that fair to say for Crayson right now, because I've only logged his encounters for a couple of games now, but it really is interesting to see how people approach games, and it going beyond that, how they get away with the stuff that they do. That's one of the more fascinating things. It's like, yeah, you know, sure, Grayson's doing crazy stuff. Everybody does crazy stuff. But how in the world is he getting away with this crazy stuff? If I attack you, you probably won't die. Okay, you're dead. So I'm having a great time with logging these encounters. The chest is empty and exercises its right to remain silent. The next person I plan to log encounters for, let's just say that the game that I'm logging them for, it's about a 50 to 60 hour game. This person put in over 120 hours. I'm a little concerned. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. Oh, good timing. A rest area, eh? Really? Oh, thank Adios. How about we take a break here? We can even admire the view while we catch our breath. Sound good? Yes, I could definitely use a break. To be honest, that would be ideal. Sounds like a plan. I'm always game to kick back and take a load off. "79 degrees in my room right now. What a nice breeze. I finally feel like I've caught my breath. Me too. Though at this rate, I am likely to fall asleep. I know how you feel. This really is a great view of the countryside, isn't it? It almost feels as if we were taken straight out of a fairy tale. For real, all the old ruins scattered around really add to the vibe. I bet history buffs would have a field day here. Indeed, I believe most of them were built during the Middle Ages and have sat untouched since then. Come to think of it, I recall being told this whole area once served as a massive battlefield. A battlefield here? Yes, the result of one of the many wars between Erebonia and Calvard. I've heard the ancient battlefield is nearby as well. Ancient battlefield. Sounds pretty interesting. We don't come here too often, so you guys want to go check it out? Now's not really a great time given we're already behind schedule. Yeah, we'll have to leave that for another day. Randy, please do not try to rope us into your slacking. Hey, what's the matter with you guys? We're way too young to have no sense of adventure. I'd heard Crossbellins never left the city, but I didn't really believe it till now. These birds are going crazy. You're telling me you seriously never get the itch to just get out of there and spread your wings in the great outdoors? Not really. People who grew up in the city usually don't feel the need to go anywhere else. Almost everything you could ever want is right there anyway. Crossbell has always been a trade city, so for the most part, we had access to any goods we might need. Further, most international travel these days is done by airship or train. And recently, cars and orbital buses are available to take us wherever we need. Honestly, it's been quite some time since I've walked this far. Though I was not raised in Crossbell, I can certainly relate. I was living in one of the Foundation's research labs for the past few months, so it's been some time since I last walked this much. Modern conveniences really are turning us into a bunch of lazy bums, huh? You on the other hand, Lloyd, you look like you still got plenty of energy to spare. Well, I owe that to the Police Academy's survival and fitness training. Still, my stamina doesn't hold a candle to yours, Randy. All that training with the CGF must have really paid off. You haven't even broken a sweat yet. Probably just used to running everywhere. Oh hey, looks like it's back. Why isn't there a bus stop right here? That must be the bus making its return trip to the city. For a moment, I was sorely tempted to stop the driver so I can go back home. If you did that, then you'd have walked all this way for nothing. Come on guys, we're in the final stretch now. Just a little bit more and we'll be at the village. I hope so. Fine. Get this show on the road, ladies. I believe in ya. Something is poking my foot. You know, this has been bothering me for a while now. What exactly is this thing supposed to be? It looks like that weird metal box back at headquarters, doesn't it? Yeah, I've been eyeing it too. There's a bunch of juice and coffee on display. What gives? This would be an orbital vending machine. Is this the first time you've seen one? You insert Mira coins into this slot. You can choose the drink you want, and the machine dispenses it accordingly. Since they were originally developed by the Epstein Foundation, you would often find them all over the research facilities. Apparently they're being tested out in Crossbell as well. Wow, seriously? Were you aware of these gadgets, Mademoiselle Ellie? No, this is my first time seeing one too. Mademoiselle? It's hard to believe that all these inventions by the Epstein Foundation are starting to pop up all over Zemuria. Granted, I have heard that they have some incredibly influential and wealthy sponsors. Please resort to coins if you intend on using it. Bills are incompatible with this model. Thanks for the heads up. I'm curious. I should try it out at least once, right? Use someone else's money. Look at this. Look at this. This is giga expensive. Oh, there's gotta be a sparkly over here. Where my sparklies at? You sucker fool. Overkill. That 3 overkills? It is. That's interesting. Oh. Alright, well, it's not every day that I get to fight enemies, so, you know, take these opportunities when we have them. Yeah. Take that. Even in range anymore? Nope. Alright. Perhaps we've had enough. No reason why I can't talk to this treasure chest. A bracer robbing a chest, I can understand, but a cop? That's low, man. Sure, you stole from me, but it's all water under the bridge now. Alright, alright. We don't need Mr. JRPG in the game as well. Like I'm being haunted by the pun demon at all times of the day. Definitely don't want to fight those floaty guys. Growing up, I always wanted to be a dancer. My father made me take up boxing, though. Oh dear. Guess we can't go this way anyways. Who broke that bridge? Who did this? Don't want to fight you. Oh my gosh. Almost got bodied right there. Hope your pockets are now loaded with Sepith. Loaded. Get a load of this. After that string of chest thefts in Liberl, you would think they'd have some locks installed. What do we have going on over here? That treasure chest over there looked giga suspicious. Will I ever stop pressing that? Monsters appeared. They're going straight for the back line. Maybe I should use some S-crafts. What a sucker. What a sucker. Let's see. Man, they really want to kill the back line. Big damage. Probably should have attacked the other one, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. This appears to have been a monster chest, which means I'm gonna get a super giga item from it, right? How this works, right? Attack 2. I'd put a joke about law enforcement here, but it'd be a bit of a cop-out. Guess we'll give this to you now. Alright, so monster chests exist in this game. It's a safety save. Oh, I'm back. Amorica Village, we finally made it. Ellie, Tio, how you holding up? I'm doing fine. That break really helped. I am also alive by some miracle. I must admit, though, this village is quite beautiful. Amorica Village. A rural village surrounded by fields of blooming flowers. It's absolutely breathtaking. And there's an irresistibly sweet smell in the air. Is that honey? Yeah, I can smell it too. Looks like there's an apiary over there that way. According to the database, the honey from Amorica Village is one of the area's specialties. Due to its quality, the demand for Amorican honey is quite high, so it is exported all across Zemuria. Yeah, I believe it. I'd always see it being sold in grocery stores and markets. This is where it comes from. That's right. It's quite a different feeling experiencing something firsthand rather than simply reading about it in books. Ellie, is everything okay? Oh, don't mind me. More importantly, at a glance, this village seems so tranquil. It's almost hard to believe it recently fell victim to a monster attack. I know what you mean. Looking around, all I see is a carefree, happy village. Well, based on the CGF's report, they first spoke to the village chief for details on the incident. Okay, let's do the same. If anyone here is up to date on the situation, it'll be him. Where does he live, though? I suppose we'll need to ask around. While we're here, let's dig up whatever leads we can about the monsters and then head back. You guys from Crossbell City? That doesn't seem right, considering the bus just left a few minutes ago. Oh, you walked here? You city folk must all be crazy. We crazy. The magnificent views you can find here are, in my opinion, some of the best treats Amorica has to offer. I'm getting sleepy. I wonder if anyone would notice if I snuck into the barn and took a quick nap. I think it's about time I sit down. Y'all gotta... Do not see a, whatchamacallit, an orbital factory here, which, you know, makes sense, but I bet this is the mayor's house. Chief. Le Chiffre. It was a pleasure doing business with you. Thank you for your continued support. Yes, and same to you. Though, are you sure that price is okay on your end? Is 20%, it's 20% more than the other merchants paid. Well, you can just take that as a sign of how highly prized this village's specialty is. I assure you, I'll be making plenty of profit. There's no need to worry about me. Glad to hear it. Always a pleasure to be working with you. And feel free to bring your wife and son here with you next time you visit. So I think I know who this is. I think it's fairly obvious. But, you know, we'll wait for the game to reveal it. Your whole family is welcome in Amorica anytime. I think I'll do just that. Take care, Chief Tolta. I'm sure I'll be back soon. Yes, until next time. Oh, pardon me. That man just now seemed to be a merchant. In any event, seems like we found the chief's house. And who might you all be? Barging into my house. Pardon the intrusion. Are you the chief of this village, perhaps? Indeed I am. My name is Tolta. Are you folks tourists? No, sir. We're here to investigate the recent monster attack in the village. Oh, yes, that whole issue. Folks over at the Guardian Force have stopped by a few times already. Unfortunately, they couldn't find any conclusive leads. However, I'm full of confidence now that all of you are on the job. This sudden optimism is familiar. Yep, same misunderstanding as usual. I'm past the point where it surprises me anymore. Sorry, sir, I should have been more clear. About what? Despite what you may be thinking, we aren't from the Bracer Guild. We're from the Crossbell Police Department, Special Support Section. I think it's time for me to sit down. Well, maybe I'll wait till the top of the hour. I see. Looking at you, I'd never guessed you were with the police department. I apologize for the misunderstanding. The police rarely visit Amorica Village, so I can't say I was expecting this. On the other hand, we've seen a number of bracers come through our gates, following Arios' example. Ah, you don't say. Man, how can that guy be so busy 24/7 and still have the time to pop in to check up on everyone? Anyway, Mayor Tolta, as we explained, we came here as part of our investigation into the monster attacks. If you don't mind, could we have you give us the details? Of course, let me think. It happened about 3 weeks ago on the night of the new moon. A pack of monsters snuck into our village, laying waste to any crops they could find. Fruit, wheat, even our livestock was hit. Every household in the village was affected by it to some degree. And there were no eyewitnesses, correct? Yes, unlike the rowdy folk in the city, people here tend to go to sleep earlier. After all, we need to be up with the roosters for our farm work, so by that time of night, most of us were already fast asleep. It was when we woke up the next morning that we found the paw prints and damage the monsters had left in their wake. I see. Is that how you were able to identify them as wolf-like monsters? That's right, the paw prints they left were unmistakable. Fortunately, the CGF just so happened to be patrolling by the village later that day. Once we informed them about the attack, they conducted a search of the perimeter just to be safe. Yet they didn't find a single trace of the monsters. Just as it's written in the CGF's report. Indeed so. It's now been 3 weeks since then, and we haven't had another attack since. To be honest, I thought this was a one-time issue. I'm sorry to hear that other locations have been attacked as well. So are we. We were noticing on the way in that the whole village looks pretty peaceful for a place that got raided by monsters not that long ago. Weren't your losses pretty heavy? No, it isn't as bad as you think. While it's true that nearly every household was affected, the damage to each of them was relatively light. Really, I thought it was much worse. This is merely a rough estimate, but I'd wager the total loss was around 100,000 mira. Still, a loss is a loss. It was a stressful time for the village. Thankfully, we were able to strike a business deal that'll help us recover. I'm happy to say that we've finally been able to break even from our losses now. A business deal? Was it with the guest that just left? That's right, he's a trader from the city. Over the past few years, we've maintained a healthy business relationship. After hearing about the damages, he increased his offers by a wide margin, bless his soul. You don't see that kind of generosity too often in people. Sounds like a kind man. A trader, huh? That explains his fancy getup. Threads like that don't come cheap. Yes, well, considering the shape Crossbell is in, these damages are the least of our worries. Chief Tolta. Sorry, could you explain? Oops, looks like I got caught up in the moment. My apologies, don't worry about all that nonsense. Hey now, Mr. Mayor. You can't just leave us hanging like that. Drop a juicy tidbit like that in front of us, and of course we're going to want to know more. Agreed. I do not appreciate being left in the dark. Suppose I understand what you mean. The ramblings of an old man not be that interesting to young people like yourselves, but if you're curious, I can explain. Yes, sir, please tell us everything you know. At this point, any information at all might be able to help our investigation. Well, if you insist. Have you heard of the Divine Wolves? Divine Wolves? As in wolves with divine power? Do not believe such a term exists in the database. Just as I thought. This legend must be long lost in the city. A shame, really. Sorry, but what exactly is a Divine Wolf? I don't think I've ever heard the term before. The Divine Wolves are an ancient species of beasts that once resided in Crossbell. Stories describe them as wolves with fur as white as snow. You don't mean... Could these Divine Wolves be the culprits behind Amorica Village's damages? There's no evidence for it, of course, but personally I wouldn't be surprised if they were. You see, the old legends mention that these Divine Wolves are not ordinary creatures, but holy beasts sent by Aidios herself. Long ago, this land of Crossbell was a place rife with conflict drenched in blood. As the Divine Wolves watched the foolishness of man play out before them, they would occasionally help the weak or injured. At least that's how the legend goes. Can't believe I'd never heard of this before. Something about this sounds familiar. Yeah, I think I read a fairy tale about a white wolf when I was a little kid. If I remember right, they had a book like that at the library. Yes, I've no doubt the legend of the Divine Wolves serves as the basis for that particular fairy tale. As I'm sure you're all aware, Crossbell has undergone drastic changes in the past few decades. Once it became the center of trade in Zemuria, being influenced by both the Empire and Republic, Crossbell began to forget its own past. And with that, the Divine Wolves slowly vanished. Sounds like they just got fed up with our bullcrap. Can't say I blame them. Those are my thoughts exactly. But it's hard to say for certain what the Divine Wolves' true intentions are. If they have returned after all this time, I can only imagine it would be to warn us of things to come. Why would you think that? Maybe out of my place to say, but I feel that Crossbell City has been developing too rapidly and too aggressively. Last time I took the bus down to visit, all those changes left my jaw on the floor. It's as if people are so caught up living in the moment, they no longer have the time to remember the past. That's how I see it anyway. I don't know what to say. Oh dear, I wasn't intending to lambast you poor kids with a sermon. I just think it's possible that this attack might have been a warning from the returning Divine Wolves. Just one way of interpreting things, I suppose. But it looks to me like you all took the story a bit too seriously. Please ignore me. Those were nothing more than the ramblings of an old man who doesn't know when to stop talking. Oh no, sir, not at all. That was very valuable information. I think we may even be able to tackle this case from a new angle now. I guess it was worth it then. Well, back to the subject at hand. You came here to conduct an investigation, right? Is there anything I can do to assist you? Yes, actually. May we have your permission to ask the villagers about the incident? As long as it's you four, that shouldn't be a problem. And it's about noon, too. Perfect. Most people should be getting back from their farm work right about this time. Where's your loot, old man? Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Just like my husband, I was fast asleep while the beast attacked. I'm sorry, I wish I could be of more help to you. I have an idea. Why don't you ask the people who live near where the brunt of the damage was? What an idea. What an idea. Nobody could have ever thought of that except for that person. Divine Wolves, eh? Who knew we'd be adding some legendary beasties to our list of suspects, right? Unfortunately, we can't confirm or deny their existence at the moment, but it's something to keep in mind as we continue our investigation. What a very lonely thing, what a very Lloyd thing to say. At the very least, the paw prints found at the scene of the crime confirm the presence of some kind of wolf-like beasts. But they somehow managed to vanish without a trace. It does not make sense. If they left paw prints, you would normally be able to follow them back to their origin. Right, chalk that up as another mystery. We're dealing with something that was able to elude the CGF's investigators. Well, for all we know, they might have just slunk off through some secret path in the woods. So no use straining our brain over it till we get more details, you know? Yeah, you're right. Alright, let's start with gathering whatever intel we can around here. And considering it's already noon, we might as well grab lunch while we're here too. I can't wait. That hike really stirred up my appetite. Same here. I'm always down for some grub. Why don't we head on over to the inn and see what info we can find on the way. I can go for some food right now too. I know it's only 9:42, but you know, a little bit of hunger is stricken my belly. Let's see, who do I... Such a nice day out. Oh, you guys here do a little fishing too? Not exactly. We're officers from the Crossbell Police Department. We're here to investigate the monster attack that took place roughly 3 weeks ago. You don't strike me as a Morrigan, but if you know anything about it, anything at all, please do tell us. Oh, so that's what you're here for. If memory serves me right, I was trying to catch a python head around then, so I wasn't actually in the village. You can bet your horses I heard the stories afterwards, though. I see. Well, thank you for letting us have a moment of your time. We'll just have to find leads elsewhere. Sorry, can it be of more help? But man, y'all have to travel all the way out here for police stuff. Not gonna lie, that sounds rough. Well, that reminds me. You guys happen to fish? A day as beautiful as this comes once in a blue moon. Would be a shame if you weren't able to kick back and enjoy the sun for a bit. Hey, I was hoping that this was what's gonna happen, but with the way the conversation was going at the start, I was like, oh, this guy's just part of the main story or whatever. Oh, I can't forget about this either. This notebook is an angler's best friend. You can use it to record every detail about every catch, from color to size. Are you sure this is okay? It's like you're giving us an entire starting kit. Oh, no worries. I'm a part of the Fisherman's Guild. Our whole mission is to promote the culture and magnificence of fishing. It's common practice for us to have a few beginner sets on hand, in case we run into someone interested in fishing. Is this guild a real thing? Hey, this is a stroke of luck. Now we've got a nice hobby we can do between jobs or something. Right, while one of us, not me, fishes, the rest can take the chance to rest. Rest is a necessity, you know. From what you're saying, I'm guessing you two are still tired from the walk here. Now that I think about it, the last time I fished was when Guy first taught me. Once Guy joined the police, we never had much time to go, but maybe I should try to get back into it. If you're itching to try it out, there's a pretty nice fishing spot in Amorica. See that little jetty over there? Cast your line around there and you'll get bites in no time. I appreciate the advice. Thanks for everything. The ripple on the water's surface indicates a prime spot for fishing. After interacting with the fishing spot and selecting the proper rod and bait, Lloyd will cast his line. When the exclamation mark pops up, quickly press a button to reel in Lloyd's catch. Be careful, the fish can get away with the bait. Information regarding caught fish is recorded in the fishing notebook, so give it a look. Check a look. Sorry, American Carp, but you're about to get schooled. Oh, some earthworm gems. Tiger rockfish. Right, I was hoping the dumplings would be something that I could eat. You know, as a recovery item. Alright, well. That was fishing. Where did all the attacks happen? That's great. Not long ago, our fields got torn to shreds by some monsters. Darn things didn't even spare our livestock. We found some paw prints that looked like they were from some kind of canine. Whatever it was, I can say it ain't from around these parts, that's for sure. Maybe they really were those divine wolves the chief was talking about. During the day, you'll find my husband tending to the fields near the village. He's on his lunch break now. With all this talk of monsters and recent attack, I wish he wouldn't stray too far from the village. Been worried sick ever since that happened. I rarely let my kids out of sight now. Those wolves do something bad to the village. I don't really know what happened. So I heard Chief Tolta mention that divine wolves were the culprit or something. We don't even need to worry. If they mess with us again, the great Camille will teach them a lesson. Want to know about the night those wolves attacked? Well, I know it's been about 3 weeks since then. Sorry, I don't remember much more than that. Got a memory like mine. Mr. Hayworth told us he's going to be heading home soon. Don't you just love him? He's so kind, genuine, and handsome. Can you believe he's married? He even has a kid. Oh, I am so jealous of his wife. You want information on those wolves? Well, the fields that I'm in charge of were damaged a little bit, so that wasn't great. Bear in mind, no one actually saw the beasts, so they might be smarter than we think. Your omelet rice is the real deal, Gofan. If I could have a plate of this on my deathbed, I could be happy. Glad to hear my laboring in the kitchen is well worth the effort. Excuse us, sorry to interrupt. Can I help you? Yes, actually. You see, we're from the Crossbell Police Department. We were curious to know if you had any details regarding the wolf attack. Can you remember anything at all? That incident 3 weeks ago, you mean? From what I recall, everyone had work pretty early the next day, so we were all asleep by that time. It was like the monsters appeared at the perfect time to strike. Talk about an unlucky break. I'm afraid that's all I can really share with you. That's about all I'd be able to tell you too. Most of the guests I've talked to didn't see anything either. That's unfortunate. And here I was hoping for some solid evidence right off the bat. Well, that's how investigations go. Answers only show up when you're patient and steadily gather information. That may be, but how do you think we can take... do you think we can take a break? My stomach is going to implode. Oh, you folks haven't eaten yet. This is the perfect opportunity to get you four hooked on our inn's specialty omelet rice on the house. Oh no, that's not necessary, sir. Nonsense. Just think of it as my way of welcoming some new friends. Or just think of it as a marketing tactic. Next time you visit Amorica Village, come stop by the Ash Tree Inn for lunch. Can't refuse that generosity, can we? Lloyd, we might as well take him up on his kind offer if that's the case. I second that notion. Well, okay, I guess. We'd love some omelet rice. Good deal. Why don't you folks find yourselves an empty table while I whip up your meal? I wonder what omelet rice is. Is it just rice and then you put it in an omelet? Because that could be kind of nice. What you would need to do, though, is you would need to season the rice. Preferably with some sort of like sauce. You know, I'm thinking like a green. I don't want green eggs and ham, but like a green sauce, maybe a salsa verde or something like that. That way you got a little bit of heat in there. Sounds pretty good. Then you throw some vegetables in there, you know, some bell peppers, some onions. Then you... I haven't had an omelet in a long time, but I could go for some omelet rice like that. In only a few minutes, 4 steaming plates of omelet rice were brought to Lloyd's table. The SSS, after demolishing the deliciously simple meal, felt completely recovered from their long hike to Amorica Village. Oh, that's it, huh? Okay. Open up, it's the police. The recent attack gave me quite the scare, considering how peaceful it was that night. I could hardly believe my eyes. I know we're living out in the countryside, but it's still a bit unnerving to see monsters wander into civilized areas. Big bad wolves sneaking into the village? Something that crazy would never happen in Crossbell City. This entire situation sucks. Why the heck would my mom want to move to a place like this? Let's call her a sucklefu and be done with it. Ah, this guy. Let's save before talking to him. And realize he was still in town. Aren't you? Oh, it's you. You're a traitor from Crossbell City, aren't you? You're under arrest, you traitor. That's right. I suppose Chief Tolta must have told you. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Harold Hayworth. I run a small trading company out of Crossbell City. Did the 4 of you come here as buyers, too? No, actually, we're... The SSS introduced themselves and explained the reason. Oh, you're with the CPD. My apologies for the misunderstanding. The Special Support Section, though. Why does that name sound so familiar? Of course, the Crossbell Times. Take it you read that article on us. Please try not to let that influence your opinion of us. There's no need to be embarrassed. All I see is a group of individuals who are working hard in a newly formed division of the CPD. Sure, that article may not have been the most flattering, but to be honest, I thought it genuinely tried to paint your efforts as earnest. Do you really think so? I suppose it could be interpreted like that, from a more optimistic perspective. Well, maybe knowing the author just made us assume the worst. Anyway, you mentioned wolf-like monsters. I've heard talk of a similar incident that took place over at St. Ursula Medical College. It's worrisome to think this is happening all over. Do you do business with St. Ursula too, Mr. Hayworth? Yes, I do. You see, I wholesale medical supplies to them every so often. Rumor has it that someone there was injured during the attack. Also, wasn't there some damage over in that mining town, Maines, too? Unfortunately so, the Guardian Force is conducting a search there as we speak. That's reassuring, at least. Perhaps I should pay Maines a visit as well. By the way, Mr. Hayworth, something has me curious. We heard you gave the village a very generous offer on the goods you came here to buy today. Did Chief Tolta tell you that too? I assure you it wasn't an act of charity or anything of the sort. Amorica's specialty items, especially their honey, received glowing reviews these past few months. I simply wanted to use the opportunity to leave a nice impression on the people here. It's just good business after all. Pretty shrewd, I'll give you that. I believe I understand now. As they say, trust is the foundation of business. If that's the case, you must be running a smooth operation. Oh no, I still have a lot to learn about business. Also, allow me to apologize. I sincerely wish I had more useful information to give you. Ah, see how he shut down the conversation and then said, oh, I don't have any information about the wolves. No, please don't let that bother you. After all, we should be the ones apologizing, taking up all your time like this. Not at all. Best of luck to you all with your investigation. If I buy this, do I learn the recipe? Oh wow, look at this. Hey, let's see. We've got 350 over here. Seven there. Buy one of those. I don't know how the food works in this game. I don't know if you read it and you get the recipe, or you eat it and you get the recipe, or works another way, but fortunately 800 is a little too expensive for me. Earlier, I heard the chief mention something about divine wolves. He may be my father, but I can't help getting annoyed that he won't let go of silly things like so-called divine wolves. Just want him to start focusing on improving the village, not worrying about things from the past. Hey. You're really going to take that EP Cut 1? Haven't the Amorcans been through enough? Clearly they're not using it. I'm sure somebody said make yourself at home. The apiary certainly took a hit in that wolf attack, and by extension, so did we. But our losses really weren't as significant as you'd expect. The whole thing sounds so absurd when you actually think about it. I mean, if some monsters were behind it, shouldn't there have been more damage? Guess we were lucky. I'll need to give an extra prayer today to thank Aidios for protecting us like she did. The attack 3 weeks ago? You mean the one that everyone's been making a big deal about? I was fast asleep when it happened, so I don't remember much about it. Plus, I heard we've already made up for the losses we took. Why can't we just forget about it and move on? Forget about it. One after the incident, I found my truck covered head to toe in these ugly scratches. Gosh, it drives me up the darned wall every time I think about it. This here truck's crucial to the village's business. Whoever did this has heck to pay. Anyway, these scratch marks definitely came from some kind of canine. I have all the information. I'm gonna talk to the villagers. Who else is there to talk to? Really? I believe this should conclude our investigation here. I agree. Shame we didn't really learn anything new. Eyewitness testimonies aside, I was positive we'd find someone who at least heard a wolf howling or something. It is strange. Anyway, I think we've covered just about everything we can here. Next up is St. Ursula Medical College. We'll have to head back to the city first, though. Sounds good to me. Though I can't say I'm eager to make the trek all the way back there. Me neither. It is not worth the trouble or pain. You heard the ladies, Lloyd. Loud and clear. Let's go check when the next bus arrives at the bus stop. Alright, it is time to mark. I'm gonna save. And I'm gonna sit down because my back is killing me.